Hey, yo, you see the thumbnail, you see the title. Let's dive into this.
I want to send kids mixed messages about coming home from prison, being celebrated, feeling like you got to go to prison and do 30, 40 years to be celebrated. Wasn't saying that it was wrong to be celebrated, but we don't want to send a message to the kids saying prison is great. So I'm sorry if anybody took it the wrong way and got offended. I love my brothers.
This right here is precisely the problem with the black community. The black community has an inherent, stubborn problem. If you tell them the uncomfortable truth about the realities of their behaviors, they will call you a sellout. They will call you Uncle Tom. They'll call you. Now, if you're someone like a Mike Epps and you say something that's real, hey bro, it ain't cool to go to jail, and it's definitely not cool to celebrate coming out of jail, instead of people applauding him and saying, yeah, that's right, coming out of jail is not cool, what do? They give him backlash. He has the right message, but he's so scared to say it that he has to walk it back and apologize. When he's right, don't celebrate that you're in jail. That's a L. It's not a W. Nigga, you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and make fun of some. I want to cover this other episode, but I couldn't do it. But basically, this is Mike Epps, right? So Mike Epps, guys, for some of you that don't know, pretty famous comedian, right? He got a lot of backlash for saying people shouldn't be celebrated just for coming home from jail. Because you guys know Blueface had just come out of jail not too long ago. And, he got like a big welcome, I guess. So let's go ahead and play this video. We'll do the usual, play it with no interruption, and then we'll kind of get into it.
What I was trying to say is we don't want to send kids mixed messages about coming home from prison, being celebrated, feeling like you got to go to prison and do 30, 40 years to be celebrated. I think you guys misunderstood that, misunderstood what I said. Wasn't saying that it was wrong to be celebrated, but we don't want to send a message to the kids saying prison is great, that you want to go home, go do 30 years and come home. I don't think that's cool. So I'm sorry if anybody took it the wrong way and got offended. I love my brothers. I've been incarcerated myself. I understand what that is, but I might have said it the wrong way, but I mean well. And I love you, brothers. Free my brothers that's coming home. My man Derek, free all the guys that's coming home, man. And about the food stamp thing. The food stamp thing was misunderstood too. What I was saying is that we need to break the cycle of being on food stamps. There's 3 generations of people that have been on food stamps. But grandmother, mother, and daughter, that's crazy. We gotta do better. We can't think that we need assistance. I know there's some people out there that need assistance. That's well, fine, and understood. But there's people out there taking advantage of the system that's not good. So just want to apologize if I offended anybody.
First of all, I want to say, why are you, Mike Epps, apologizing for what's right? We need to get out of that when we're speaking about the black community and try to break the shackles of the mindset of incarceration as if it's a good thing. You shouldn't have to apologize for that. And also being on the government and being on the government assistance and being okay with that. That's a good thing to say. That's a good topic to attack when it comes to black community and trying to change the demographic of the black community. Or I would say there ain't no such thing as the black community. We'll get deeper into that when it comes to Myron's reaction to what Mike Epps had to say. But I would say Mike Epps is on the right road, man. I don't agree with him apologizing for saying the right things, but it seems like if you criticize the black community, you have to say it in the most politest way to where there is no kickback, to where it's like, okay, so what do I do? Do I not say anything about it? Do I just comply with the bad behavior and just let it rock because I don't want to be scrutinized by black people who I align myself with? And I'm not speaking about me. I'm speaking about any entertainer who's predominantly have the black people's support. Okay. But we're gonna get more into it. We're gonna listen to what Myron has to say. We're gonna piggyback on what he has to say, and we're gonna challenge a little bit of what he has to say. All right, let's get into it.
All right, let it play one time through. Now let's go ahead and actually give some commentary here. Let's go ahead and play this clip again.
What I was trying to say is we don't want to send kids mixed messages about coming home from prison, being celebrated, feeling like you got to go to prison and do 30, 40 years to be celebrated. I think you guys misunderstood that.
Now, let's be very honest here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead. I don't usually do this, but let me give a warning to anyone in here that's sensitive or black or whatever. I mean, you should know better watching my streams anyway, but I guarantee you got a bunch of new niggas in here that don't know how I deliver messages. So I'm going to give you guys a fair warning right now that if you are offended when people are critical of the black community, you might want to walk away from your TV right now, turn off your YouTube, go watch Tariq Nasheed or some shit like that. I don't know.
Niggas, you got to stop being so sensitive, bro. You got to stop being sensitive. If you got to walk away from stuff just because you don't want to be talked about or you don't want nobody to address you, that's weird, bro. Stop being so sensitive and learn how to throw out the bull crap. All right. Yeah, they might say some offensive stuff, or it ain't offensive to me, but they might say some stuff that they might throw you off, bro. But if it don't apply, let it fly. Right. But don't run away from accountability, bro, because at the end of the day, we the ones that suffer the most from this bull crap, from this mindset, from this culture. Not nobody else but us. So why are we the ones to take heed and accept what these people have to say? Because ultimately, we're not speaking out about it, because if we're living in these conditions, most of the time you can't speak out about it because you're living in it. All right. And it sounds like you against the program. And once you're against the program, you are now a target. And not, like I said, I've been a part of these. I've been a part of this program. I've been a part of the streets. Right? I done gangbang. I did everything. Been to prison. I've done it all. All right. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. All right. So we're gonna dive a little bit more into it. We don't get into that, right? We got a lot to react to.
But if you get offended, you might want to turn off this shit right now. Okay? Because what I'm going to say right now is going to be painfully true. It's going to be offensive. And a lot of you are going to get offended. But I'm going to say it anyway. There's your disclaimer. Okay? So you got 5 seconds. Come back in like 30 minutes and we'll cover the shooter from Afghanistan. All right? And Dave Rubin getting absolutely owned by Pierce. This right here is precisely the problem with the black community. Okay? The black community has an inherent stubborn problem. Okay? If you tell them the uncomfortable truth about the realities of their behaviors, they will call you a sellout. They will call you an Uncle Tom. They will label you as you hate your own skin. You hate your own people. Right? And they don't like to be held accountable for anything. Right? And not only do they not like to be held accountable for everything, they don't like to be held accountable to the point where they will go ahead and create different sects within the black community to create what I call plausible deniability for niggardry. Okay? The biggest threat to the black community is organized niggardry. Now you might be wondering, Myron.
That's absolutely true. That's the left Democratic Party, you know, the black elites who justify all the bad behavior because it's not our fault. It has to be the white man's fault. If you look at the history, some reason why we unaliving each other, some reason why we are putting pain on each other and creating more turmoil in our own predominantly black areas is because of the white man, because we always have an excuse. Okay. Ultimately it's because of us, and we need to point the finger at ourselves because we're the ones that's destroying each other. We're the ones taking each other's lives. So who can we point at? I took interest in this because I'm a part of that black culture. All right. As far as growing up in black culture, growing up in South Central, growing up in gangbang culture, growing up in prison culture, right? Get big, get buff, put your big man shirt on. Yeah, I was a part of that. It was the right thing to do. And we were lied to. Ultimately lied to. The street code lied to. All false, all lies. Nobody cares. No referees. Nobody's gonna help you. Ain't no Black Lives Matter. Ain't no Black Power. Ain't none of that. None of that doesn't exist. It only exists in politics, because you can't let white people or the mainstream know what's going on in these communities, because if you do, guess what? You're a tether. If you do, you hate your own people. If you do, X, Y, Z. Anything to shame you to not speak out against what's happening. But at the end of the day, it hurts us. I think that you're more of a moron, more of a coon, more of a bootlicker if you're basically showing out and trying to impress these people, knowing that we're the problem. Because when you say that we're not the problem and trying to hide the truth, who are you trying to impress? Everybody know the ugly truth now. It's no longer affecting just black people. It's a whole culture now. This culture is going into all type of communities now. Okay, so you can't deny it. All right, it's put on television for you to see. It's put on the forefront for you to see. So who are we lying to now, right? But you'll get mad at a person that been through it or that see it just because they're speaking out. No, don't speak out. You are put in a box. Shut your mouth. If you speak out against it or you speak out about it, then you're part of the problem. That's not part of the problem. Part of the problem is not speaking out against it, because those who are in these predominantly gang bang infested areas that's rooted in street violence, they can't speak out because they live around it. It was just a recent story of a party, a kids party being shot up. And what is that in California? What do you think that's towards? Gang banging, right? But that's normal. That's normal where I'm from, right? It's not okay, but why is it normal? Why aren't somebody speaking out against it, right? But when a police officer is is doing his job, and he happened to unalive a black person or whatever, no matter the circumstance, no matter if the person was right or wrong, here comes Black Lives Matter. But where Black Lives Matter right now? Nobody cares. Nobody cares, man.
What is organized niggatry? I'll tell you. Organized niggatry is the concept of taking zero accountability for self-inflicted wounds and problems. What do I mean by this? Well, blacks represent somewhere between 13 to 15% of the population. Black men are roughly half of that, about 6%. But they account for damn near half of the violent crimes in America. Contrary to popular belief, the police don't kill black people as much as they say, okay? These are fringe stats that happen very rarely. It's just that they're blown up in the media to stir controversy because there's nothing easier than pushing out culture wars when it comes to views. That divisiveness creates views. And we know who owns the news agencies. But this isn't a talk on it, boys. The reality is that when young black men die, the number one killer of young black men are other black men. And this is kind of what it is in general. Most people get killed in a race. Now, not only do we have this lack of accountability, right? So criticism can't come in. They insulate themselves in certain types of ways with this organized niggatry. I'll give you an example. One of the strategies they use, someone like a Tariq Nasheed, who's, by the way, will say something like, you are a tether. What is a tether? A tether is a black person in America who has Caribbean and or African roots and don't have lineage tied to a slave, whatever. In their eyes, they look at it like, you can't criticize us or say anything about us because we built up America through the colonization period alongside the whites. Fair argument. Cool. You've been here for many generations. You feel as though you've earned a certain regard and respect in this country.
Man, Tariq Nasheed should understand this. Tariq Nasheed, you understand that nobody bigger than the program, bro. We criticize every goddamn body, and that's black Americans who have lineage to slaves. We criticize every goddamn body, bro. Nobody's above the law. I don't give a crap if you English or crap if you anything, right? Indian, nobody's above the fucking law here, bro. Nobody's above the program. You gonna get judged, bro. You gonna get talked about, especially if you causing ruckus in this country. This country is like one big community to me, bro. At the end of the day, it's affecting Americans. I don't look at black people as just, oh, black and this person is part of this, bro. We're not playing that. We got enough of that in the black community, or the predominant black areas. I don't even call it a black community because it's not no community, bro. It's not. if another nigga will rob you, steal from you, unalive you, backdoor you, there's no such thing as community, bro. Well, what? We only stand by who we like at the time, because you still a backdoor is the thing for a reason, because you like at the time. They cool with you for the time being. Okay, there's always a potential of you getting backdoored by your own homies, bro. At the end of the day, it's just that simple. There's no rules in the streets, bro, but don't snitch. There's one rule you do have: don't snitch. Although everybody do snitch. So what's the rules? There's no rules. There is no community because nobody's loyal to anybody. Okay, there's no one pushing black peace or anything of that nature, and when they do it doesn't really, it isn't. I'll just keep it. I don't want to name names, but when they start talking about black peace and gang bang peace and all that other shit, most of these dudes are still tied to their gangs. They might be pushing peace, but they are where they're from, and they will, they gonna pick sides when it comes to that. So it's really no referees, bro. It's always favoritism, right? It is what it is. And about Tariq Nasheed, bro, at the end of the day, he is from an area where I used to be from, as far as gang area, right? I don't think he's from there, but he has family from there. Basically, he grew up over there. Yeah, he's from there, which is the East Coast, the 8-9s, right? The evil side. I was from 118th Street, right? So I'm not saying we part of the same tribe, but kind of in a way. But at the end of the day, I'm not with the wokey shit. All right, I'm not trying to cause a division between black people or in America, or cause division between Americans because they want that. Who was they? Figure it out. But at the end of the day, you can't insulate yourself from criticized, from being criticized, because that means that you're perfect, right? This is the reason why the black community are, I'll keep saying that, I keep lying to myself, the predominantly black area is programmed to go to prison. We're programmed to unalive one another. We're programmed to unalive the babies because they don't want no scrutiny. There is no such thing as scrutiny when it comes to black people. If not, you're shamed. No, let's paint the shame back to you because slavery happened. We all know that slavery happened, but at the end of the day, we don't look like our ancestors. So at the end of the day, you would call these the tethers that come from different countries. They're using the same. They're using those resources that our ancestors built for us better than we're doing, because we're too busy unaliving each other and causing war amongst each other, depending on what gang you from, right? And what, from what gang, it's like what subset are you from? Okay, from one subset, who's your family? That's the favoritism. Okay, there is no loyalty anywhere in this so-called black community. So there's no such thing as the black community. But we're gonna dive back into it, brothers.
Country, fine. I'm not disputing that. But here's the problem. They get angry if a tether or if anyone criticizes them. And to take it a step further, even if you're an FBA and you criticize them, they're still going to come after you. It's like they're adding layers of plausible deniability of accountability. Oh, you're criticizing us, you're white, shut up. Oh, you're criticizing us, you're Asian, shut up.
And that makes me think sometimes that there is some black CIA operations going on, as far as, and they're using black people to do it, because they're keeping us in this mindset, and we can't break through it, because guess what? There's always somebody trying to keep you in this box. If you vote outside of Democrat, you hate yourself, you're this, you're that, you're racist, you're looking at white man's boots and all the other shit. If you speak out against the black culture, that's destroying us inside out, right? Because most people that speak out against it, like Myron and of that nature, and I appreciate what Myron's doing, because a lot of people that don't like it, a majority of black people that live in these communities don't like it, but they got the voice. Who got the voices? The gang members, and the ones who's getting on these vlogs and getting motion, not the ones who's sitting there dealing with the havoc just because they live in these areas and they can't afford to live anywhere else. They don't want these guys to speak out because it makes them look bad. You got all these resources and you claim that we built this country, but we don't act like it at all. We honestly don't. We still begging for reparations, and I have an argument to that, but that's neither here nor there for right now. But Mario gonna get into it. But the thing is that you can't be sitting here begging for. You can't be sitting here asking for something that your ancestors work hard for when you don't even represent what your ancestors work hard for, because we don't look the same. If our ancestors were to be resurrected and see how we treat one another and see how our women are acting masculine and all that nature, boy, you wouldn't even get shit from them. They probably would like, bro, please burn me or something, because what I work hard for, I don't know. These folks is crazy. These folks is nuts.
Oh, you criticizing us? You an Indian. Who cares?
Thank you. Come again.
So when these criticisms come,
you musty mouth motherfucking Indians better not say nothing about us. Straight up. You stink. Shut up. You better say nothing about us. That's only y'all. I'm biased. You better not say nothing about us, motherfucker. Nothing.
these niggas are like a Neo. Dodging all over the place, bro. It's like you're throwing job applications at them. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, right? Niggas turn into Mike Tyson all of a sudden. We start throwing the job applications. That's what they do. So no one can criticize them. Now, if you're someone like a Mike Epps and you say something that's real, hey, bro, it ain't cool to go to jail, and it's definitely not cool to celebrate coming out of jail. Instead of people applauding him and saying, yeah, that's right, coming out of jail is not cool, what do? They give him backlash. Oh, who you think you is, cuz? You nigga. The black community is the only community that sits there and says, I did my time, cuz I ain't snitch. I got 30 because I ain't say nothing. What? It's the only group of people that literally pedestalize being a criminal. Mexican niggas too sometimes.
Now, I'm gonna give you the inside scoop. All right, been in prison once. All right, been in trouble. I ain't never been in trouble a day in my life. One time I got in trouble, went to prison, bro. Niggas like being in jail, bro. That's the only assumption I can come up with, bro. Because do you know that you have to have a cavity check in that motherfucker? That scarred me forever, bro. You literally have to squat and cough while the police put a flashlight in your buns. You hear me? Who wants to keep going back and forth to jail? This is where the whole mindset of being tough collapsed in my head. Like, it's before my eyes, bro. Niggas with tattoos on their face, gang banged up, don't listen to no nigga, never had a job, fuck the government, sitting there squatting, coughing just like everybody else with the buns open. Right? Get stripped naked, nigga. I want to see nothing open. I want to see nothing on you. I want to see a shadow. Huh? That's how naked you are. I want to see a shadow. Squat and cough, man style, huh? Your buns up. Tuck it. Tuck the buns out. Light. Cough. Cough. Yeah, that's real, bro. That's real. This is the real deal. Who wants to go to jail for that, bro? Who wants to go to jail for that? Who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? Any man who is masculine, who claims that they dangerous with tattoos on their face, got 30 bodies and XYZ, and don't listen to authority and F the police. Why would you go to jail just to do it anyways? Like, I'm just being real. Like, F all the jokes and things of that nature, because these men are very submissive, right? If they want their privileges, they're very submissive, and most of them want their privileges. Why would you go all the way to jail to be submissive, bro? If that's the case, don't go to jail in the first place. You're not tough, because all you game bang niggas that got tattoos on their face, who done probably put a nigga under, took a nigga away from his family, they all squatting and coughing with their buns in the air. I'm just being real with you. I want you to picture that. Any nigga who you think tough, if you got a man who going back and forth to jail, you writing them on the thing with me is I never act tough. Never. I can defend myself, but I never act tough. I was in there with B-Braves, all of the Hoosier. I was in there with all of them motherfuckers. Right? Them dudes that you writing in jail right now, right? I understand that they spread their buns. They spread their buns and get cavity checked. They totally submissive. All right, they're not as tough as you think they are. Right? Everybody want privilege. Everybody want a speck of freedom. Right? Even if that's going a yard on a fucking playground full of niggas all the goddamn day. Is this stupid? It's just stupid, bro. And we need to understand. We need to tell the youth that this is happening. This is happening. Your biggest, the big dog that you look up to is squatting and coughing, bro, with his buns in the air, and he not fighting it either. He's doing exactly what he's told to do. Okay, he wants to be a porter in jail. He never wanted to work. Never. He said, "Fuck the paying taxes, all this other shit." Right? And some points I agree with, as far as paying taxes and getting raped that way, and getting raped that way. But at the end of the day, you're still squatting and coughing with your buns in the air, brother. Why you want to do that? Why do you keep going back and forth to jail? What's in there? What you like that's in there? I don't get it. It took me once. I ain't been there in 8 years.
But you can roast them and not have to worry about nothing. But these guys, they lose their minds. And this is the problem in the black community. Organized niggatry allows for them to basically continue with almost no accountability. And if you try to give them accountability, they either call you a racist, a tether, you ain't a part of the culture. They use some type of language to deflect responsibility and or make it where you're not an adequate critic. So in other words, you need to be an FBA to criticize us. And then if you do prove that you're an FBA, they still don't care. And they're going to talk shit regardless. So in other words, these niggas never want to be held accountable for anything. And they put many safeguards in place so that you can't hold them accountable. And this is why the black community continues to take L's. They can't take criticism, okay? And let's keep it 1,000. Let's go even further. White people are going to tell y'all shit because they don't want to be called a racist. Asians are going to tell y'all shit because they don't want to be called a racist. No one wants to be canceled and or feel the wrath of being called, are you racist? They don't want to deal with that bullshit. They just shut the hell up and avoid y'all niggas.
I hear you, but I think that everybody should take a part in this because it's becoming an American problem. When people are getting, shot and unalived in public places at the mall and things of that nature, it affects everyone. All right. It's not just that's a black person problem anymore. It used to be that way, right? Where black on black crimes are done. This culture is deadly, right? This is a unaliving culture. Okay. They celebrate death. All right. Even with the Charlie Kirk situation, when black people was joking about him dying, it's a whole King Von and things of that nature. That's the whole mocking the dead. That's normal. That's becoming normalized now. This culture is affecting everyone to where it's not just a black person problem to where, that's just black people, let them handle their own. This shit is seeping into the suburbs. It ain't stopping. So it's everybody's problem. Everybody has the right to say, hey, dude, cut that shit out because it's getting to my kids. I didn't care what you was doing over there, but now it's getting here. Stop it, please. Now y'all starting to travel. We used to stay in the projects. You keep that shit in the projects, we straight. You do your thing. Now it's becoming a problem when you're touching everybody else. It's just like the mob. Let's say the mob with the Italians, bro. They start doing hits out in the open. Now it's like everybody's starting to see it. Now the mob was just a myth. Now it's like, bro, that's real. And somebody needs to do something about this because it's happening in front of everybody, and we can't allow this. I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody has a right to say something. And we're Americans, bro. At the end of the day, even though, you know, we have our own culture in a way, we're Americans, and most cultures mix, right? Most cultures mix, especially now that everybody got a phone. Anything can go viral, right? Everything mixes, bro. So we need to stand together and speak out against this black bullcrap, right? That black people keep pushing because it's deep. I'm telling you that because I've been through it. I was raised in it to where I have to unlearn all the shit to where, like, bro, what the F was going on? Like, I really believed in the no snitching policy. If you do this, oh, you got a murk in there. I literally thought that's becoming a man. I swear to God, dude. Like, I thought taking another man's life was a part of a man's life. Like, you have to do that one day. You just have to. It just comes with the territory of being a man. Like, I literally would picture that in my head. It's weird and wicked to say that, but that's how strong the programming is. Until I realized, bro, this shit's crazy. Why would I take another man's life? Why? Most of the dudes we beefing with, I know them. Like, I'm from this side, but I grew up with these kids, dog. Like, I can't talk to them no more. They can't talk to me. I don't know what they own. Like, if I was gonna do it, it's because I protected myself because I don't know what they own. Right? They might be like, oh, well, he's from over there. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he, you know, it was what it was. But at the end of the day, this shit is so deep into this culture and so destructive that we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is life for us. Gang banging is normal. Going to prison is normal. Shutting your mouth is normal. Doing 30 years is normal. You're supposed to get glorified to do that when you do that. But at the end of the day, who suffers the most is your fucking family, bro. At the end of the day, your family is the ones that's answering your letters. Nobody else. Nobody cares. I promise you, these same niggas that you talk about, the same niggas you was gunning at, you hanging with them in prison. You hanging with them. You talk to them every day. Them your boys. When a riot kick off, you gotta protect them. That's what it is. Sorry. That's what it is. What it is. So they lie to these kids and make them hate each other. Make you hate your ops, knowing damn well when you get into a prison, right? This is what they all prepping you up to go to. You're gonna have to program. Program is basically get on this program. Get on this one rule rules. Okay, you're not gonna break these rules or else you'll get hurt. I don't give a crap if you're blood on the streets, crip, gang bang, doesn't matter. You follow rules. If you don't follow the rules, your own homie will unalive you for not following these rules. And that pertains with you indulging in with your enemies. The ones who unalive your homies and the homies that you unalive. His homies that you unalive. You got to be cool with them. So what's the point of fighting? You answer that. They lied to you.
There's a reason why black fatigue is real. It is real right now. Okay? Because for a very long time, nobody said shit. Now people are annoyed. I've been talking about this shit for years. Let's be honest. It's been like, what, 4 or 5 years now at this point? Niggas have been trying to cancel me. They hate me more than you guys because I look like them. Even though they say I'm not one of them, but who gives a f? I don't care. So this is where we are. This is the backward society that the black community has created. And it's interesting too, because during the Jim Crow era, when segregation was at its highest, when blacks had the fewest opportunities, guess what? They thrived. So even under the most oppressive era in modern American history, blacks did better. You want to know why? Because the family stuck together. We didn't have fatherless households. We had blacks that stuck together, that had communities, that built up stores, built up an infrastructure, and they did better in the 1960s with harsher conditions.
I would deem that true, bro. I respect what Myron is saying, and that's 100% fact. But I want to ask you guys this question. Those who don't believe in reparations of that nature, right? I'm not arguing for it because I'm not for it. But if I was to argue for it, I want you guys to understand this. What country do you know that was infiltrated by the CIA that's recovered now, that has recovered from that? What country has recovered from that? I don't even think, what society has recovered from the intelligence agencies of America? Or let's say that even Israel. I don't think any country that is fully recovered from the targeting of the CIA. So imagine this 15% community or this 15% population. What makes you think we gonna get it right now? right? Yeah, we were good. Like post-slavery, I'm not blaming white people. I'm talking to you about the government. Post-slavery, we got it together, right? 80s, saying late 70s, 80s, right? Crack epidemic, dropping guns off in these communities, right? What country do you know has survived the CIA operations? Why do you expect the community to do it? I'm just honestly saying, I'm a look. You see my name, South Central Conservative. I'm conservative, but this is my genuine question. Like, if we gonna be fair, I'm not making no excuse from it, because I'm not making an excuse for it, because I grew up in these areas, bro. I grew up in it. I know that's wrong. Like, I lived it. Like, I was brainwashed by this shit. But I also want you to understand that the opposite end, right? We keep talking about slavery and that nature. I think we point the finger at the wrong people. I don't think it's white people. I think it's the government that tampered with us. And I think we had the same issues among. This is an American issue. Like I said, it's not just a black person, black versus right, but we were targeted. I'm just being real with you. Fuck the red line, and we talking about CIA targeting. We were targeted. I'm being real. I'm sure you guys understand that, right, Mr. FBI? Countries they don't recover from that. Why? What makes you think we are? It's like when black people were doing great, they couldn't stop fucking with us. When I say they, I'm talking about the government. They couldn't stop fucking with us, bro. Now that we all discombobulated, hands are off, why aren't you getting your life together? To be honest, I fear that if we do get our life together again, there will be another operation. Yeah, we got phones now. It might be a little bit harder, but I mean, I think America dropped the ball when it came to the black community. I know. I feel like people hated us so much that even though we were doing right, and they seen, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people seen that the government was targeting, the black communities that were black communities back then. Nobody said nothing. Like, nobody even did anything about it. It wasn't an American issue. It was a black people issue, right? And I see that with this issue, it's a lot of greed and anger towards people who allowed it to happen. I'm not saying every white person allowed it to happen, but it wasn't an American issue. Now it's a black fatigue thing. Why wasn't it a government fatigue back then when it was happening to us, right? Because most, like, even with the inoculation, they come to us first. It became a habit, right? You seen it during COVID. They come to us first. They try everything with us first. I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm just trying to have you understand what went on. I'm sure you do, but nobody has sympathy or empathy for black people. Yeah, we had time to regroup and things like that nature, but when you bring the father out the home, it's so much. It's You can't recover from that. Not no generation, bro. Not no generation. That takes time, bro. My dad was unalive. My dad was, taken away from us. And I'm trying to be a better father than, best father than my father was. And he was there. But the turmoil, bro. My brother getting, shot 6 times and gang banging, all us had to go through the streets and shit. We didn't have to go through it, but the culture was so strong. That's all we knew. So it's like, when you talk about these issues, yeah, it's good to talk about them, because I appreciate it. Like, I feel like you sticking up for us, the ones who don't want to be in this shit. And those who are partaking in it, they fighting you because they see you saying something right, but they have to justify their lifestyle, even though it's wrong. Like, that's the right thing to do. I know I'm wrong, but like, I didn't do all this shit for nothing. This is prideful thing, right? But you gotta understand where it started. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses for it. We know better now. We get it now, but it takes time, bro. This shit take time to stop. People got to get tired of this shit, like, for real. Like, the community, these people that's living in these predominantly gang banged areas and fucked up areas, they got to get tired. They got to get tired. We got to get tired of the music industry. This manipulative ass music industry that's ran by who. We got to get tired of that shit, like, literally. But it controls the kids' minds because it's so easy to get caught up in the system when you on government assistance. It's just so easy to get caught up into it because most people are not paying attention. They just living their life and doing what they're told. That's a little segment for myself, man. Hopefully you're listening. We're gonna get more into it.
Fast forward to 2025, they have more rights than ever before. They have more access than they've ever had before. They cry about reparations, even though they get affirmative action and a bunch of different federal and state benefits that people of other groups cannot get, yet they're still some of the worst performing. I wonder why. I'll tell you why. Because the state isn't your daddy. Nothing can replace a father. I'll take it a step further. You don't want the state to be your father because when they come to pick you up, there's permanent consequences. I'm going to say that again. I always say a good dad keeps a son out of jail. Why? Because when he sees you smoking that reefer, what does he do? Punch! Hit you with that Mike Tyson so your dumb monkey ass don't do it again. Because it's better that your dad punches you in the face for being a dumbass than the cops doing it. Because when the cops do it, you're going down for a felony. When your dad does it, you just get grounded in your room for a few days. See the difference? Your dad is the first line of defense to keep you from being a scumbag. Because if you get a felony conviction, guess what? Life gets a lot harder for you down the road. It's your father's duty to keep you from that. So though black people have more economic opportunities, they have more education opportunities, they have more social access than ever before, they're still doing worse because the state cannot be your father. And I'd argue the state being your father is going to lead to you being in a state even more so. And that's the problem in the black community. Nobody wants to talk about this shit ever. Ever. They don't want to deal with the real issues. They want to blame the white guy. They want to blame redlining. They want to blame systemic racism. All scams, by the way, which, by the way, let me go ahead and make this public service announcement right now. Tariq Nasheed, if your ass wants to debate, we could do it any time. I will debunk you on this whole concept of white supremacy. I will debunk you that a lot of your arguments are rooted in a victim mindset. I will argue that there is nothing holding black people back from being successful in 2025. We can debate all that shit because your entire branding is based upon making black people feel like they're victims and that they're owed something when they're not owed shit. I would argue you guys got more than enough at this point. So if you want to go ahead and have a discussion on this, let's do it. You've been talking all this shit. I embarrassed your ass last time because you want to talk about. So we can go ahead and have the debate and shut this down forever. If we're going to go ahead and prove that you FBAs are literally foundational black American, more, actually, I call it more along the lines of frequently bitching about anything, because that's what you niggas really do, is just bitch about anything, right? Or in Sir Major's case, frequently buying, niggas taking FBA money to go buy hookers. That's why he's in jail with the FBI. FBI, open up! We can have that debate anytime. Don't suck it. And don't.
Look, man, I think that Myron, he's onto something. He's telling the truth. I think that we got too many excuses, not enough answers. I think that if you a felon, bro, like straight up, like you wanna change your life for real, fuck with me, bro. Fuck with me, bro. I changed folks' life, man. I changed my life, bro. I didn't make no excuses. I only been in prison once. You know what I'm saying? I only been in jail once. I've only been in trouble once. Like I'm a high income earner, but I had to work hard to get it. You know what I'm saying? I had to apply myself to do it. It didn't just come to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just me. There's a whole network of individuals who done what I've done, that went through what I went through, and are able to provide for their families. But you can't make excuses, especially when you already have that in your background with a strike or two, right? I hear what Myron's saying, but some people just give up at the finish line. They give up before the starting line because they feel like it's no need. And I think it's the mindset. Once you get out of that mindset, things will change for you, but you have to get out of that mindset. You can't just keep losing and being comfortable with losing, bro. Because then eventually you're gonna keep losing. Like, you have to get up off your ass, man. And I feel for black folks because I've been through it. Like I said, man, like it's easy to point the finger. Like, you need to get up off your ass. Like, just move, bro. Like, if you're going through this, just move. Like, I hear him. When I hear Myron, I hear that. That's why I'm kind of looking like, yeah, I hear you, bro. But man, like, only if you knew what we went through. Like, if you tapped in most circumstances, but still no excuse. Because once you know better, you do better. But when you're growing up as a kid and you growing up in this lifestyle, nigga, like, it's treacherous. Like, I don't even think I was gonna make it to 18, bro. I was in high school thinking I'm gonna die at the train station, just walking home from school or walking towards school. Like, 100 shit. What? Avalon train station. Then I'm gonna get murked up under it. I would picture it all the time, like, as a youngster. You know what I'm saying? My mom on, government assistance is just real for us. Like, as kids, losing friends, like, bro, like, I don't think he understand that. It's a blessing that he had a parents to not understand that. But I do understand. And I still say it's no excuses, bro. Like once you're older and you could, and you can make a life out of yourself, do it, bro. Stop listening to these dudes that's game banging and making it sound cool because they lying to you. And I feel like these people are devious and they're groomers because they want you to do what they're doing. And misery loves company, right? When you look at the who's, I want you to understand that that's just a lie, bro. This is fake. This is fake clout, fake love, fake acting like you cool when this dude is suffering. He's suffering from the deeds that he's done. And I don't want you to suffer from that. I don't want you to be enticed by that because it's not cool. Going to jail and shit and fighting and all this other shit, getting jumped by your own people and getting robbed by your own people possibly, and then you have to jump in once it's a riot. It's like, you understand how devious black people could be when you're in a situation where it's fucking 4-1 in a dorm, right? Four Mexicans to 1, not including white people. There's not a lot of white folks, but they against you too, and we all against each other. But when it's a riot, you have to jump in, right? You have to help these dudes that possibly robbed you, depending on what gang is in this module. The gang rules. It's not about no fucking individual. Yeah, I'm cool with this person. No. Who's ever in that dorm who has the most homies is gonna rob you. Whatever they want to do with you, you're at their, you're at their will. But at the end of the day, you can't roll it up. Rolling it up is basically packing your shit and saying, I can't do this shit. I'm out of here. Because then you get packed up everywhere. Because now you're a punk pussy bitch and you run it. Okay, so you gotta indulge. You gotta be engaged with the foolery, right? You can't run from it. There is no escape for you. But you have to still be pro blackity black, because when they having a riot, guess what? I gotta be black man. Okay, even though they rob me, my own people rob me. My own people make me feel bad. My own people hate me. But Black Lives Matter when only is a riot, and I feel like that's on the outside too. Only when bad things happen against white versus this matters. But when it comes black to black, we don't care about that. Fuck all that. So what? Go get over it. Forgive. That's why I said that this shit is a lie. They lied to us. So I understand you. I understand why you do what you do, but it's not right. It's not right, bro. You was lied to. It's your job to fix this shit. And if you're not on that fixing this, I'm talking for your children, right? That's all I'm doing, because it's not gonna reach everybody. It's gonna reach the kids. Let us talk to your kids, man. You can't do it because you're a piece of shit dad. If you pushing this shit and you pushing this failure in this inside this community, I'm not talking to you. You gonna die out eventually. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to. You're gonna die out. But let me get your kids in order, man. Let's get them a chance to fix this bullshit that you put them through. All right? Get back into it, Myron.
Sit there and say, oh, you gotta pay me some shit. Nigga, I'm more lit than you in every single way. I'm doing your dumb ass a favor. But I want to end this conversation once and for all so that this FBA thing can die. Because at the end of the day, you guys, all you do is try and take a victimized. So let's go do the debate, bro. It'll be respectful. We can have time rounds. We can have a neutral host, right? I know how to debate and not be a asshole. We can have a respectful discussion on it. And we can debate. I think systemic racism no longer exists. I think that there's nothing holding black people back from becoming successful. And I think this whole concept of systemic racism and redlining and all these other bullshit excuses, police brutality, police profiling, it's all a bunch of bullshit to rile black people up, to have something to blame. So let's go ahead and have the discussion. My position, there's nothing stopping minorities from being successful in modern day society. Even things from before that you might argue continue to perpetuate today. So let's have that debate. I'd be happy to absolutely cook you on this topic. Anyway, I digress. But going back to Mike Epps here, he has the right message, but he's so scared to say it that he has to walk it back and apologize when he's right. Don't celebrate that you're in jail. That's an L. It's not a W. Oh, just came home. Nigga, you should be ashamed of yourself. You got a wife. You got kids. You should be ashamed to come back. What? But this is what we prop up in this community.
Misunderstood what I said. Wasn't saying that it was wrong to be celebrated, but we don't want to send a message to the kids saying,
we be really politicking while we whipping in the kitchen. God be my witness. At the age of 15, I was fighting my